First, let me thank everyone who posted their questions, making this video possible. The questions came from all areas this time: YouTube, emails, and private messages. So let's begin. How many guys in that life would you say listen to rap music? Would you say it's more common among certain boroughs, like the Bronx, Brooklyn, etc.? I've seen a few guys who listen to rap music. One night, the guys in Patty's crew and myself stopped at a party, and there was a DJ that was playing rap music, and Louis Jet was singing along to a rap song. For me, standing there, it was embarrassing. Here's why. In that life, you have to carry yourself accordingly. But in Louis's defense, he was an associate at the time, and just being himself while enjoying the music. And there's nothing really wrong with that. Music's a good thing. As for guys who come from specific areas of New York, I didn't notice any trends of rap enthusiasm. This person's question is in regard to social clubs. Were there rules who could have one, and was permission required to have one, and why? Did you have to pay for drinks or food? During my time, social clubs were far and few between. Most were closed down or banned, although our family had one up in the Bronx. I guess if you wanted to open one up, you would need permission. Because social clubs did bring heat, FBI surveillance, and you don't pay for food or drinks in a club. How did the mob relate to using drugs or alcohol in daily life? Were there people with severe alcohol or drug problems, and how were they looked at? If you're a member of the mob, you're not supposed to be doing drugs. As far as drinking, we all drank excessively. At least most of us did. When the FBI locked up Big John's brother Bubsy, they found a half-smoked joint on him. He was known as a heavy pot smoker, which was frowned upon by the old-timers in the family. To them, drugs is drugs, and you're a junkie. As I previously mentioned, Johnny Perna had a serious drug problem, and I believe with the old administration, Vic and Gas, he would have became a victim. Have you ever heard of people who switch families? Again, associates could be moved between families. And I know that there were a few isolated cases where people were moved from one family to another. But in my time, if you were a member of a family, you remained with that family. Have you ever seen or heard of a member or associate being wheelchair bound? Does the rule not putting your hands on another member apply to a guy on the shelf? And are members who have family members who flipped looked at more intently and scrutinized thoroughly? I've met one person in the Gambino family who was in a wheelchair, and obviously I didn't ask if he could no longer walk or it was temporary. When a person's put on a shelf, they're stripped of their membership. Therefore, that rule doesn't apply to them. As far as a guy who may have a relative who cooperated, he's not judged by that. He's judged by how he carries himself. Whether people want to be more careful around a guy like that, I've never seen it, and there are plenty of guys in that situation. When John Gotti had everyone who was anyone coming to see him weekly, was his motivation just wanting to see people face to face to look for signs of discomfort or unease? Body language of a potential conspirator. I think most people may agree with this. The guys that John Gotti had coming in, while under Paul Castellano's rule, would fly under the radar. But for John Gotti, the total opposite of Castellano, it was more about the statement. There's a new boss in town, so come pay tribute, because the protocol has changed. John Gotti looked at guys like that as duckers. He was an out-and-about type of guy, and that's what he wanted to see with his men. Do you think that Gampiro and Arpino are the future of the family? This person's referring to Louis Jet and Butch and the Lucchese family. I'll put it this way. If Louis and Butch are the Lucchese's future, that's music to the FBI's ears, because they'll be able to take the family down in record time. Is the number game still a thing in the neighborhoods? The mob gave up number spots many years ago. Presently, I think the Cubans are still running them. Plenty of Philly guys are involved with the New Year's Eve parade. Are there any guys in New York, to your knowledge, that participate? And I'm not trying to throw shade. Guys from New York don't dance around parades with costumes and umbrellas. Are guys in prison still able to keep a pulse on what's happening in the street? Do they still keep their illegal ventures going on while inside? For guys in prison, they have to depend on receiving information about the street from visitors, phone calls, or through the mail. Do they hear things? Of course, but they're definitely out of touch. As far as any earns they have, that depends on who they have handling things for them. Due to modern surveillance, is it time for the mafia to decentralize? Could decentralization cut down on power grabs within the organization, or more importantly, reduce exposure to law enforcement? I think the best answer is to look at the androgynous. a decentralized organization where its clans have flexibility to adapt to any shifts in leadership, mostly caused by arrest. Their structure is more efficient and effective than New York Cosa Nostra. As far as limiting law enforcement exposure, decentralizing makes law enforcement's job at targeting the top of the mob's food chain that much harder. Out of all the crews, was the Brooklyn crew the largest in the family? I don't believe that we were, at all. The Manhattan crew had a lot of guys, but as I've stated repeatedly, I didn't go around counting people. Are there any photos of the Brooklyn crew all together? Not that I know of. Even during our Christmas parties, we never took any pictures, although the FBI definitely has pictures of people coming and going. This next question is one that I've been repeatedly asked in private messages. Do you agree that Sonny Francis is a rat? Let me just say, I don't get into YouTube or rather ClownTube drama. Never have, never will. Nor do I use it to get views. But for the sake of how many people ask repeatedly, I'll respond. My answer to that ridiculous question is absolutely not. And I could tell you with absolute certainty that any guy in that life who mentioned Sonny Francis's name only spoke about him with the highest regard. Let me quickly mention the Super Thanks icon found under the video by clicking on the 3-dot dropdown. That icon is put there for anyone who'd like to show appreciation for these videos. And thank you. Do you think the mob will ever drop its membership requirements of paternal Italian-American lineage? Years ago, if you asked me if I thought they'd be inducting businessmen, guys who've never cracked an egg, I'd say no. So although I don't believe non-Italians will ever be able to become members, at the rate they're going, you never know. And for the final question, one I appreciate. As the new year is upon us and people are making New Year's resolutions, what is the best life advice you would tell a young person? I like that. To start with, a new year brings new opportunities. It's only to your advantage to set short-term goals, which are essentially stepping stones to your long-term ones. Life comes with ups and downs, good days and bad. Train your mind to concentrate on the good and not focus on the bad. Remember, hard work pays off. Conversely, being lazy limits your ability to reach your goals. A good practice is, when you reach a certain goal, treat yourself. Relax. Do something you enjoy. Take a trip. But work hard until that goal is achieved. The following are the most important things I can say. Easy money has many hidden problems that you can't see until it's too late. If you have a low income right now, then you have a goal right there. Get a better job, try for a promotion, take a course for a certificate or a degree, and strive to lift yourself and your income to that next level. And most importantly, keep those problems that you had in 2023 in the trash with that old calendar. It's a new year, so make the most of it. Ciao.